my sexy. It's not pink, it's red.
Is that salmon?
Is that a
Don't do that. See,
is that a V-neck?
Yeah, I don't even.
Oh, that's a V-neck.
But I didn't buy this though. The wife bought it. So anytime you see me with a V-neck, I didn't buy it, bro.
Bruh, but that, you
V-neck
know what I'm saying?
What?
You feel me? The
Sexy?
V-neck is supposed to be sexy, bro.
Okay, bro. I guess. Y'all let me know down in the comment section if V-neck.
Go that beast.
Oh yeah, it's a baller.
Who's that?
Dow.
Yeah.
Who that?
State.
Yeah.
Are you waiting
Sparky, you know about Sparky?
Yeah, I know
Shout out Sparky, though.
Yeah, they was hating. They was hating. Bro.
God, right? You know I love Sparky, bro. I love when Sparky's wrong, bro.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Made me happy, dog. Sparky's wrong.
When you speak about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sparky's wrong.
Scored in the percentile.
To me, man, it's just certain positions. Like,
It
certain
don't matter.
things make sense, though.
It don't matter,
You
bro.
still have to watch the film.
Absolutely.
But the running back position?
No.
That ain't
No.
Sparky ain't, it's not that important.
If you're not running a 4.9, bro, you're gonna be okay, dog. You're gonna be all right, bro. If you
That
demonstrate
means-
everything else, you're gonna be
Make
okay,
a guy
bro.
miss.
Bruh. That to me is the name of the game at the NFL
You
level.
don't got to run 4-2 to make a guy miss.
Exactly.
Can you catch? Can he catch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need him to catch out of the backfield as well. All right, man. We are here to talk about Game of the Week. It's CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager is the YouTube channel. You know it because you're on it. We're here to discuss the Game of the Week. We had a choice.
Okay.
We could have went.
Dallas, New England?
Yeah, Dallas, New England, your team,
Sure.
and the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
Patriots, but we decided to go with the San Francisco 49ers. We thought it was a little bit more sexy, as I like to call it, and the Green Bay
Like
Packers.
your V-neck?
Who?
Like your V-neck?
I
Sexy
mean,
like your V-neck?
I mean, you feel me? You know, call it. You know,
That bit little pink, though.
come on, bro.
Be real with you.
Well, you need to get the lights right here, bro. That's adjust
Oh,
the
you
lights.
gonna blame the lights,
Yeah, I'm gonna
bro.
blame somebody because
Alright.
it sure as hell ain't me. But and my red shirt. Green Bay Packers at 49ers playing over on the West Coast. So play. They go to fullback right there. There you go right there. One of the best in the league. Versatile. What were we talking about? Last week, we had the 49ers play the Arizona, who are getting good Cardinals. They're coming into their own a little bit, maybe.
Kyler Murray's a baller. Yeah.
He's everything he was advertised in
Yep.
college. The one
I'd
thing,
say so.
the one thing that I think I'm missing from Olympia is just being able to evade defenders a little bit more in terms of getting outside the pocket, making a move, making a guy miss. That's not that important, but that was a part of his game.
You know what it is?
What is it?
He's so sudden. He thinks he can
He can
hold on to it and bail a little bit later than he should. He's got to be a little bit more decisive in terms of when he wants to take off,
Yeah.
when he wants to go and extend the play. Because I think he's thinking, okay, it's the Big 12, and I can run in circles around these guys. And no, this is the NFL.
Everybody's catching.
So there are 6'6", 300-pounders that might be able to get you if you wait half a second too long. But I think with experience, you'll be able to address that.
My 13 personnel, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I like it. That's power they just ran right there. The defense, so that's Buckner. That's Buckner.
But yeah, man. So last week with the 49ers and the Cardinals gave them a run for their money, and we were talking off air. We were discussing about the 49ers defense because that's their bread and butter. Some would say it's their run game with George Kittle. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? But talking about that defense, no Quan. They played like you were stating off air. They played the wide nine. What are they? Is this? Are they falling off? Like where are they? Are they?
I think the last 3 weeks, they play Kyler Murray twice. They play Russell Wilson once. They have a little issue with the mobile quarterbacks. Like you said, they run that wide nine. They're getting upfield wide. So quarterbacks can step up. I know Kyler Murray broke a run for a touchdown last week. So it's just being able to contain that quarterback in the pocket, man. They have a little issue with that, but I still think that defense is one of the top 2 best defenses in the league, them and the Patriots. And this game against Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, we talked about it, he likes to back up in the pocket some. So that's not going to work if he does that. He needs to step up, maybe get wide, and find receivers open down the field, man. So that's probably what he has to do, Aaron Rodgers.
There's going to be opportunities for Aaron Rodgers because of that wide nine for him to take off. But Aaron wants to go for the jugular at times. You know what I'm saying? So if he decides, you know what, it's 3rd and 5, I got room to pick up 6-7 yards. Let me get this first down and get a new set of downs. If he does that on a consistent basis in this game, it's going to be hard to stop Green Bay because the 49ers, the defensive line is so good and they're so aggressive. They're trying to get upfield. So and the thing is, while Aaron Rodgers isn't Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray in terms of his mobility, he is a good enough athlete to make you pay. You understand what I'm saying? So I think in terms of extending drives, if Rodgers is decisive, and instead of trying to throw up that 50-50 ball to Adams or Scantling or whomever, I think if he focuses on, let me get another fresh set of downs and then I'll go for the jugular, that's going to be a tough challenge because you mentioned it. Yeah. I think this defense is different without Quan Alexander not being on the field. The will in this cover 3 scheme is so important. When you talk about the 49ers, their defensive line and their rotation up front, not having Ronald Blair in that rotation is big as well. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's not one of the stars, he makes a difference. His 25 to 30 snaps a game makes a huge difference. So, I think this is going to be a challenge. You know what I mean? The Packers have kind of been the offense obviously is going through Aaron Jones now. They've changed, with Matt LaFleur. Mm-hmm. But this could be a sneaky big opportunity for the Packers pass game, assuming Aaron Rodgers picks his spots in terms of when to attack, when to just run and get a new set of downs, when to, be decisive in terms of his decision making.
Now let's talk about the 49ers offense. The offensive line is now healthy. We have Emmanuel Sanders, banged. We have George Kittle, the biggest piece of ball. Is he playing? Is he not playing? And we know we kind of can see what this offense looks like without a George Kittle. I know they had I forget his name, but they had another guy who started to go off for them.
Ross Dwelly.
Yeah, he started to go off
for
him.
Fantasy team.
He's streaming.
Got to stream.
Hashtag fantasy alert. But you just see that the offense isn't the same. We know who's not the same. The guy who's running the show, Jimmy G, looking a little jittery back there with the happy feet.
Well, 49ers fans are going to be out here. They're going to say, he just threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
What's your response to that, man? Why the vitriol? Why the hate? They're going to call it hate. Why the hate for Jimmy G?
Everybody can throw for 400 yards in this league. We're in a league where it's designed for that. It's designed to do that. You're in a Shanahan offense. It's designed to do that. You have guys who you dip the football to. They make plays. They make people miss. Big things happen. So I expect that every week from basically every quarterback. But it's what you do, within that offense. It's what you do, play to play, drive to drive, and in some plays, Jimmy G looked like the guy that they traded for. And other times he looked suspect out there.
Yeah, man. He gets those jittery feet, man. And my response to the 49ers fans is he had his 2 best games against the Arizona Cardinals. It's not like he's carving up tough defenses. I know the Cardinals are playing better recently, but they still have a below average defense, and he exploded them in the 2 games that they played.
It's the snap to snap consistency. That's what I struggle with. And you mentioned without George Kittle, with some of the injuries that they face along the offensive line, they may not have necessarily been quite as effective on the ground, which puts more pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. And again, whether you call it nitpicking, whether you call it hating, whatever you call it, he appears to be the only question mark on this team.
Weakest link.
There's no other way to put it. You know what I mean? And let's make no mistake, you can do a lot worse than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's facts right there.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at this team and you're deciding, you know what, how are we going to attack this San Francisco 49ers team? What are we going to try to take advantage of? We're going to put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. We're going to make him beat us. That's the best way to attack this team, even though he's coming off the 4 TD game. You know what I'm saying? I still think that's the way teams are going to approach this team. And the 49ers are going into a bit of a stretch here where they face I guess the hardest schedule based on winning percentage of opposing teams in a 3-game stretch that's ever been had in the NFL era.
I think
It's
Saints
like
coming up.
all these teams are 800 or above in terms of their winning percentage.
It's about to get real.
It's about to get real.
Yeah.
It's about to get real. So, that's kind of my mindset is he going to, of course, I think he can play complementary football. I think he's proven that he can play complementary football. And you have a team, when healthy, that allows you to play complementary football. But you're down Emmanuel Sanders. George Kittle seems to be the spoon that stirs up the cereal, as Drew says. Mm-hmm. Without those guys, without that dominant run game, can Jimmy Garoppolo carry you, put you over the top against some of these better offenses, better teams in totality? And
to speak to that, this particular game right here, he might not have to do that. Yeah. Because of the Packers, boy, sweet, soft, marshmallowy up the middle. Just hand it off to Coleman and let him do his thing. I know the 49ers play with a fullback, so this might be the game for the ages for Coleman.
Nah, he just had that.
Oh, no, he might have another one. Yeah, because the Packers, as good as they are in the secondary, and they have athletic linebackers at the second level. I don't know what's going on in that defensive line, but it's extra soft. It's Stay Puft Man, Michelin. It's Michelin, but what's the big old?
You mean for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think Stay Puft.
Yeah.
Stay Puft.
Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way.
That is a great movie.
That's classic.
Yeah. How about the new one with the chicks?
I like that one too, but it ain't quite classic, but it's not bad.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Okay. So for me, for the 49ers to win this game, they need to run the football. They don't necessarily need to run it through Jimmy G. If they do have Kittle, that's just a bonus. If they got Emmanuel Sanders, that's a cherry on top. But if they can't run the football in this game, it's not going to be a pretty game. I think it's going to be a close game. I'll give you my score in a second. But what do you think they need to come off?
Yeah, I think the matchup, like you said, I'm right there with you, man. I think it's whichever team runs the ball better. Mm-hmm. I know you got Kyle Shanahan. He's the guru of the run game. He's playing a old friend in Matt LaFleur. Used to be on the same coaching staff in Atlanta, and I think Washington also. So both of these guys run the same kind of offense pretty much. They're going to do the outside zone runs. They're trying to get to the edges. So I feel like whichever team runs the football the best, and both of these defenses, you can kind of run on these defenses.
Yeah.
But I'm favoring on the 49ers side running against this Packers defense, man. Especially if George Kittle plays. If George Kittle plays, I think the 49ers win this game.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
I wanna jump on how you say
Aaron.
Aaron. I want to jump on Aaron. He's just not, and I'm talking from we can talk a fantasy perspective, but we can also talk in real life. He's just not. He's not that guy anymore. He's not the cheat code, bro. You can't even say he's the cheat code. It's gone now, bro. Yeah. And I know we used to talk so bad about Mike McCarthy's offense, and it was rudimentary, it was basic, it was archaic, it was terrible.
Yeah, hieroglyphics
out here. Read them. Do you know how to read them? Because I don't. But I just, every time there's teams in the league I can't watch, bro. I can't watch, and the Packers' offense is one of those I can't. It's brutal.
It's right now, Roger. You're sacrificing stats, fantasy numbers for wins.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rodgers would take. I think he would.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of his ego or anything like that, but
nah, he's having the ball though, because it's not like he can't check out. I know there was a whole discussion about audibling out of the plays and this, that, and the other. Yeah. It's not that he can't check out of these plays. He's making the right decision. Yeah. It's just killing my fantasy team.
I get you, man.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, he's making the right decision. We're in the red zone. We're at the 15. We're at the 10. Aaron Jones is eating up yardage. He's got the nose for the end zone. Give it to Aaron Jones. Yeah. That's what they should be doing. Like you said, he appears to be okay sacrificing his own counting stats for wins, and that's the name of the game. At this point, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a whole lot left to prove in my eyes. I know some people, there are people out there, there are always going to be detractors that feel like, well, he lost a step and blase, he hasn't been able to get his team to the... Aaron Rodgers has been unhealthy, and as we talked about, Mike McCarthy's offense, he's had to bail Mike McCarthy out. Now, considering the way they're approaching things, they can run the ball. They can win in a different way now. Yeah. They can win in a different way now, and Aaron Rodgers seems to have accepted that as long as we're winning, we can do it in a different way. You know, so
if you look at the numbers, he has 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I don't think Rodgers is struggling at all. He's just handing the ball off more, especially towards the goal line, man. It's Aaron Jones' time. So, you know, if he ends up with 30 touchdowns, 4 picks, that's a great season, man.
It's just nice. You're right. You're looking at it like that. You're right. But there's always, you know, there's like 4 or 5 splash plays a game. Like, yo, what the don't.
You just don't see it as much anymore.
In you might see it one time a game. You might not see it all game. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know if that's, you know, he's not trusting his receivers or he just buys into what the offense is and I'm gonna hand it off and we're gonna do that and I'm good with it.
He's made some concessions. He's made some concessions. There were a couple of games where I saw Aaron Rodgers. I could tell he checked the play and you could see it. If you read lips, you can tell what he was saying as he was looking to the sideline. But I think he and Matt LaFleur have come to an understanding, and Aaron Rodgers has internalized the fact that, you know what, I don't have to be Superman. I don't have to make this great. We can punt. Yeah. We're playing good defense. They were playing better defense early in the season. They've shown some weaknesses, but certainly this is the best team Aaron Rodgers has had since their Super Bowl run. Let's make no mistake about it. This is the best team they've had. They actually have a pass rush. You understand what I'm saying? They could stand to get better against the run. There's no question about that. But as we talk about going into this game, we talk about who's coming out on top. I'm looking at the Packers, and I get why you would say San Francisco, because we expect San Francisco to be able to run the football. If George Kittle's not in the lineup, I'm not so sure about that. If he is, we're talking about a different certain circumstance. He just poses that much of a threat, whether he's in line blocking or whether he's a receiver in the passing game. But Manny Sanders is banged up. George Kittle misses this game. San Francisco not quite as potent on the ground. I'm leaning towards the Packers in a close one. I'm thinking like 21-20. They pull it out.
So you think a more defensive game?
I think so. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I really don't. Even though both defenses have shown some chinks in the armor over the last several weeks, I think this is going to be a closely contested game. I really do.
Yeah, I got a close game also, man, but I'm going to go with the 49ers at home. I'm going to go 27-24 San Francisco.
I'm going to go 23-20 San Francisco. It's going to be tight. Let us know what your scores are. But let's move on, man. I know we were talking off air about these offenses in terms of these same types of offenses. We got the San Francisco 49ers, we have the Green Bay Packers, we have I almost said St. Louis Rams, Los Angeles Rams, and we have the Cincinnati Bengals. And then we were talking, we were like, you know, where are these teams struggling in terms of their offenses? When you talk about the Cincinnati Bengals, where are they struggling? Where do they suck?
First off, they don't have a quarterback right now.
Finley ain't
it, man. He ain't it.
Dalton, what is he?
Dalton ain't it either, man.
Okay.
Joe Burrows, that's the guy. That's probably going to be the quarterback, man. And what you're alluding to is that offensive line. You know, I was kind of high on Joe Mixon this season coming into this year because of the offensive line improvements with Jonah Williams. And they
drafted Drew Sample, who's
Drew
a
Sample,
line guy. Yeah. You know, they seem to be a concerted effort to improve.
But everybody got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jonah got hurt. I think Clint Boland retired. Cody Glenn got hurt. Yeah. So it was a mess there, man. I fell off of that Joe Mixon, and like you said, this offense is outside zone scheme. Your offensive line has to hold up, man. You can see it in the LA with the Rams. Yeah. The offensive line has struggled. Gurley can't run the ball. The offensive line played probably their best game last week. Gurley got almost 100 yards. So the offensive line, man, that's what needs to be looked at. That's what needs to be prioritized if you want to run this offense that we're speaking about.
When you talk about this, I forget who I was listening to. It might have been my guy.
That's your guy? I wonder why.
He's a Bucks.
He's a Bucks, but I like his demeanor. Anyways, all right. This team and the other team I'm going to bring up, the Rams, who's also struggling at the offensive line. Quarterback, he's a bust.
Sure.
Okay.
Golf?
Yeah, he's not a bust guy. I just said that. These are the two teams, the top two teams who run, I think, 13 personnel?
12?
No.
11.
11. Oh, 11. Excuse me, 11. I'm sorry. 11 personnel. And you kind of see the results. You see that
that
was terrible. That was Jimmy G. That's what we talk about when we talk about Jimmy G, stuff like that. But you talk about the Rams offense, and I know you've talked about it before in terms of adding some more tight ends. You drafted these 2 tight ends. You don't use them enough. Cooper Kupp seems to be the end all be all. Robert Woods. Hey, is he on the back of a milk carton?
Well, he ain't played last week, personal reasons.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying for the season. Is he on the back of a milk carton?
It's Cooper Kupp and Bus out there.
I mean,
in the wide receiver stuff right now.
Can we get a tight end on the field? Bengals. Can we? Like they just. It's like it's not a thing. Our offense line sucks. We're not gonna throw a tight end in there to make things a little bit easier, a little bit. Just help your tackles out. Nah, we're gonna keep running what we run because this is what we do.
To be fair, Joe Everett is probably having his best statistical output this season, and it's been because of necessity. The Brandon Cooks injury, the fact that you don't have the amount of time that you typically was afforded in Los Angeles to push the ball down the field. You have to find Joe Everett in the intermediate, and he's obviously getting more snaps this year. I think he's kind of supplanted Tyler Higbee as a tight end 1 in Los Angeles. But we can go back to last year's Super Bowl. I thought there were 2 areas where the Rams could have attacked New England, and it was through the tight ends, and it was through the running game. You understand? And when I say the running game, I'm talking about using the running backs in the passing game. Now, of course, there's a whole conversation about Gurley's knee, and I'm of the mindset that Bill Belichick broke Sean McVay. Until this last week,
the book is out.
Until this last week, he broke Sean McVay. But this past week, you talk about the Rams running the ball more effectively. They moved away from the outside zone and they started running power. And we've talked about this off air. Teams, as we've seen more spread and more tempo and more shotgun and fewer, 21 personnel looks and 22 personnel looks and more single back looks. Defenses do not know how to act when you run power, when there are double teams, when there's a fullback in the lineup. Linebackers do not know how to stack a fullback and shed him and make a play on the ball carrier. They don't know what to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't until the Bears actually moved to a 6-down lineman look that they were able to slow down Los Angeles running it. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm seeing it more and more from teams, and it's part of the reason why another team out in California, Oakland, has been so effective on the ground, is that they are huge up front and they're running power. And they don't know, and teams, like I said, they do not know how to handle that anymore because of the proliferation of spread offenses throughout the NFL. So with the Rams, I think they found their 5. I think there's been some injuries. Some guys haven't played necessarily up to par. And of course, they lost some starters through free agency. So there's no way to keep everybody intact, right? But I think they've found a group where they can be physical up front. The passing game still is a work in progress. You know what I mean? They're missing some weapons. Jared Goff has to be more consistent. You see it. You see the flashes where he is incredible, and then you see the head-scratching throws. You know what I mean? There has to be more consistency there. You got the big money now. You got the target on your back. You know what I mean? You're trying to put that Super Bowl loss behind you. You have to play at a higher level. You have to start to raise the level of the players behind you. And then of course, there's Sean McVay. Sean McVay deserves some criticism. Like I said, I gave him credit for that was a good run. I give him credit for making some adjustments, but why did it take to week 11? If you're the genius, if you're the ahead of the curve when it comes to offensive play calling, why did it take you to week 11 to make these adjustments? So they're going to be battling now, and we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. The NFC West is really competitive.
Yeah.
Really competitive.
I had a question, man. We're speaking about the Rams and the NFC West, man. Do you think the Rams make the playoffs? Are they in or out?
I got to take a look at the schedule. I don't know off the top of my head. I've heard some pundits say that there's a chance the Rams get it and the Seahawks don't make it.
Russell ain't. That's not happening.
and I understand what you're saying because Russell is playing at such a high level.
Schedule? You're looking at the schedule?
If you're looking at the schedule, I don't know. Again, I don't know off the top of my head, but I will say this about the Rams. While there are some issues that need to be ironed out, their defense travels. The Rams can play defense.
They can get after.
They can get after.
You know, they added the Ramsey. You know that kind of rejuvenated that defense.
Yes,
Man.
they're playing good defense, and I don't even think they quite hit their stride just yet. They're playing really good defense. So if they can get a little bit more consistent in terms of the running game, because that's what that whole offense is predicated off of, play action in terms of the pass game. If they can be a little bit more consistent, and at this point, Gurley clearly, I mean, when I'm watching Gurley, bro, it saddens me, bro. I don't see the explosiveness. I see him dragging that leg behind him. He's running with power. He's running with decent pad level. But I just don't see the same level of edge. I don't see the lean in his runs. You know what I'm saying? But you got to feed somebody. You got to feed somebody, and even at 80%, Gurley is probably your best back. So he has to get 20 carries. He's got to get in that 20 to 24 range on a consistent basis. That 12, 13 is not going to cut it.
They're not going to win like that.
They're not going to win that way.
No, definitely.
In lieu of what you said.
The schedule?
Yeah, I'm looking at the 49ers schedule.
Yeah, the 49ers
it's tough.
Playoffs.
Yo, they play the Packers.
Yeah.
They
I got them winning that one.
They play the Ravens.
Got them losing that one.
They play the Saints.
Where is that game? New Orleans? Yeah. I'm taking the Saints. I'm taking the Saints.
They play the Falcons.
No, they'll win that.
Okay. They play. I'm just telling, bro. I
say
Falcons. I'm just saying.
The Falcons, resurgent Falcons.
Shut the heck go have a field day with the Falcons, man.
All right. 28-3. That's all I'm gonna say. They play the Rams. They're home for the Rams, and then they play the Seahawks. They got to go to the Seahawks last game of the season. So that's a hell of a schedule to play.
That's a tough schedule.
I mean, those are all them teams are good except for the Falcons.
Man, there's no guarantee that San Francisco wins this division.
Yeah, I don't think no guarantee they win the division, but I think they have enough wins where they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they make the playoffs.
So I have the 49ers and the Seahawks making the playoffs.
Okay.
I have the Cowboys in the East, Saints in the South, and the Packers in the North. So now we're talking about one more spot.
So it's the Vikings.
That's what I'm saying. Now we're talking about one more spot.
Oh, okay.
The Rams.
I got you.
Is the Vikings.
It's probably the Vikings.
So the Rams are out of the playoffs.
But sometimes the wrong cousins show up, bro. Sometimes the wrong cousins show up.
Sometimes that other cousin show up. Huh?
Yes.
The other cousin
to the cookout. The other cousin
eating all the barbecue.
Yeah, that one cousin that nobody really, they don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah. They just say stay away from
Hey,
him.
man, they say you can't talk bad about Kirk Cousins right now, man. They say over the last, 5 games, 6 games, he's the most touchdown passes.
But we've seen this before. We've seen this from Kirk Cousins before.
This is what we call rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
This is what he does. That's what he does.
But you know what? Kirk Cousins, he kind of deflected because, obviously after they beat Dallas in Dallas, prime time, that was big. His record is poor under those circumstances, playing winning teams. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell that there was a little bit of a letdown this past week against Denver. They managed to pull it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there was a little bit of a letdown, and I wouldn't put all of it on Kirk Cousins, but I'm gonna put most of it on Kirk Cousins because he's the quarterback. If you wanna praise him, then he has to take the criticism too. But they managed to win that game, and that's a game that historically that he would lose. That's a game that he would lose historically. So yeah, I think the Vikings are a playoff team. I really do. I really do think they're a playoff team.
Let me show you their schedule, right?
The Vikings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They play the Seahawks. It's the Seahawks.
Ooh, tough.
They play the Lions. The Lions can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody.
There's no Stafford, dog. Stafford's not playing.
Oh, he's not playing.
Yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah.
They play the Chargers.
It's a Jekyll and Hyde
Just
game.
roll the dice, bro.
I don't know what Chargers. But I haven't won that
And
game.
that's in LA.
I still haven't won that game. That's our home field.
Then they play the Packers.
In Lambeau?
Nah, this is at home.
The Packers gonna beat them.
And then they play
Even with Dalvin.
And they play
Yeah, they'll beat Trubisky.
Yeah. Which by the way,
Yeah, I think the Vikings
they should end up with
What's
10.
the Rams schedule look like? That's what I want to know.
That's the
man.
question.
That's
That's
the
the
team I'm
question.
thinking that's going to be on the outside looking in, man.
So you think Dallas wins the East? You don't think Philly can pull it off? I actually have Philly beating Seattle this week.
Yeah, it could happen.
I actually have Philly beating Seattle this week, and that kind of catapulting them.
Think they coming back?
I think they split with Dallas. I don't think Dallas sweeps them. I really don't.
Philly is just, they don't have any weapons, man. They don't have any speed on offense. It's just, that's a team that's just, ugly, boring. Like can't win in multiple ways, man. It's just,
But let's think about it. When has this Philly team? So Deshaun Jackson over the last several seasons, he got hurt. Obviously, returned to Philly. He was in Tampa Bay. Who was the guy stretching the field for Philadelphia?
but I'm not even talking about a stretching just explosive plays.
They got a nickel and dime you down the field.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the only guy maybe is Miles Sanders can have an explosive play, but other than that, Alshon Jeffrey is hobbled. Like you said, no Deshaun Jackson there. It's just
Bro,
they relying on Nelson Aguilar right now, bro.
They do it how I used to play Madden, bro. Used to do my 12-play drives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
Snap the ball with 1 second left on the play clock.
Whatever you got to do to win the game, bro.
Yeah.
But that's ugly football, boring football, and just mistakes happen. Bad things.
Yeah,
happen.
it is hard. It is hard to consistently, get a new fresh set of downs without any explosive plays. I agree with you.
You think Eagles win that division?
I think they got a chance. I think it's going to come down to week 16 whenever they play Dallas the next time. I think that's going to be the determining game. I don't think the Eagles are just going to go off into the night. I think the offensive line is too talented, even though they've been underachieving. I think they're too talented, and the defensive line has gotten healthy. They've gotten a little bit more healthy defensively. I don't think this team is just going to go away. I've always had my reservations about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz at one play looks spectacular, and the next play I'm scratching my head, and I'm wondering, is he going to get hurt? You understand what I'm saying? But I think, I would like to think at least that they would be able to cobble together a few wins here, at the end of November, going into December, so that game against Dallas at the end of the year actually means something. I think so. Whether they win that game is a whole different conversation, but I think that game is going to be meaningful. I think that will determine who represents the East in the playoffs.
Well, for the Rams, they play the Ravens. They do play the Ravens at home. They play the Cardinals away. They play the Seahawks at home. They play the Cowboys at home. Excuse me, they play the Cowboys away. They play the 49ers away.
Tough schedule too.
They
They
do
play
have
the
a tough
Cardinals
one.
last game.
I think they beat the Cardinals both times.
Okay.
I think they beat Dallas because Dallas doesn't know how to deal with the outside zone run. That Ravens game,
That's a win. That's a loss.
the Ravens are going to lose one more game. I think they're going to lose one more game. I don't know who's going to come to, but they're going to lose one more game. I think they for whatever reason, they're going to get away from doing what they do and try to get in one of those games where we're just passing it back and forth, we're spreading it out and not running our offense. You know how coaches overthink things from time to time.
They do.
And I think they drop one more game. But I expect the Ravens to be the number 2 seed in the AFC. I expect, yeah.
Not one.
No.
You gonna lose one more game?
Yeah. Yeah, I think New England they go 14-2. I think the Ravens end up 13-3.
I think the Rams would need to be. I'm gonna say I think they're gonna need to be 11-5 to make the playoffs. Because I think that's where the Vikings might be around there. 10-6.
Yeah, 10-6, 11-5. Yeah.
They have to go 11-5.
Yeah. Do they have a head-to-head matchup this year? I don't think so.
Who's that?
Vikings and Rams.
Vikings and
No,
Rams.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
No.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, man.
Yeah, who's to say that the Packers win the division? Maybe the Vikings win it, and now we're talking the Packers or the Rams. So, there's a lot more games to be played, man. So
No, to that point, there's a lot of football left. We're in week 12. There's a lot of football left to be played.
yeah, the Falcons can win out, make the playoffs.
Who?
Hey,
We
listen.
was talking about that defense, best defense in the league.
Hey, man. Dan Quinn got the boys playing, man.
Yeah, they
I know you were aiming for Chase Young, but there ain't gonna be no Chase Young in your future.
Nah,
pretty much.
that's not
Pretty
happening.
much punting it on that.
So you need to go, AJ Epinesa.
You want to talk about the Bucks a little bit?
I mean,
Jameis? How
Yeah,
much
let's not
picks you had
James.
last
Let's not James.
oh yeah.
Let's have a conversation.
Only 2?
Yeah, just why you gotta say like that, bro?
I'm just saying.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
four
James.
before that.
What's 2020? Who's the starting quarterback in Tampa?
Jameis Winston.
It's Jameis, right? That's what I think.
I think so too.
That's what I think.
Jameis, bro, you got OJ Howard out here dropping passes.
Oh man, what's up?
He
with that
caused
guy?
the first pick.
Yeah, I see
My
that.
Evans ain't dropping passes too.
He always got like 2 or 3 games where he just.
They've gotten away from Chris Godwin. What happened there?
Bro, I don't know, bro. I don't really know what James is seeing out there in terms of the field. I just know that we out here throwing the ball 50 times a game, and we ran it 8, a total of 8.
Yeah, I gave him a run early.
And one of the
we didn't
games,
see Ronald Jones in that game.
it's
from the
Byron
first
Leftwich.
quarter.
It's Byron Leftwich. But
See,
he,
Dar-
Yeah,
I see.
Leftwich, his inexperience has reared its ugly head here recently. I have a lot of confidence in him, and I think he's going to have a bright future. But But I think BA has to rein him in a little bit, and I think moving forward the Bucs will be more committed to running the football. I really do. I think they'll do the self-evaluation thing, and they'll be more committed to running the football.
And then we go out on defense. Jamel Dean, had a game of his life. The week before.
Yeah.
Game of his life. Had a pick. Everything, bro. One ball that was caught on him for a -2 yards. And then he only played special team last week.
MJN?
So who was starting? Who was calling this?
It was Sean Murphy Bunting on one side, Carl Davis on the other side, and in the slot they had Mike Edwards, the safety.
I like Mike Edwards.
But he was out there missing tackles.
But I don't know why he was in the slot though.
Out there missing tackles. He was struggling at safety earlier this year. They're like, all right, well, you got to sit on this bench over here, and I guess they thought,
So they just bench Jamel Dean, even though he was coming off that kind of game. You don't get it.
I don't know.
You don't understand.
And then you allow Michael Thomas. It's for the Saints, bro. Their offense is the law firm, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's Breeze, Kamara, and Thomas. That's it, bro. There's nobody else on that team that can beat you. Ginn might catch a pass or two, might get a touchdown on you. But you're
not scared of Jared?
No, bro. You let those guys. You know who I'm not gonna let beat me? Michael Thomas, bro.
Yeah.
But we allow this guy to do what he do. And you know what I'm talking about, brother. He's saying, man, bro. This is what the Saints do. These are the guys that these are the guys they use, and it's rinse and repeat every week. I don't know why defensive coordinators don't take one of those guys away.
Somebody.
Nah,
take Michael Thomas away. Jesus.
Michael Thomas is on pace to break Marvin Harrison's all-time.
143 catches or something.
Yeah, he's on pace to about 150 catches. He catches 10 passes a game.
It's crazy.
Every game. And
like on 17, it's like on 12, like 15, 17 targets. And teams just let him do this.
And I don't think he hasn't had a drop pass since week 5 of last year. So he got them short hands out there, man. My boy Brian Harris, man, the Falcons fan just made a comment, man. So let's talk about the Falcons Bucs game, man, this weekend, man.
Y'all probably gonna win, bro, because we do dumb things, bro. Jameis gonna throw that pick as he usually do. I just wait for it, bro.
Falcons got the best defense in the league.
Yeah,
but Jameis always plays good against the Falcons, though, man.
He usually is.
The Bucs match up well against the Falcons.
But it's the defense. The defense show up.
Plus, here's the thing about the Falcons, bro. As they should be commended for making those adjustments, I think Dan Quinn is literally saving his job. He is in the process of saving his job right now. Mm-hmm. I love Ice. You know how I feel about Ice. Mm-hmm. That offensive line ain't good, bro. It's not good.
The ball. I think Brian Hill averaged 2 yards a carry.
Yeah, man.
You know, Devontae Freeman's under 4 yards a carry. It's bad, man. We can't run the football.
Yeah, is Julio healthy?
You know, Julio gonna do Julio, man.
Okay, all right.
His feet, bro.
He's good, bro.
He always got an issue.
He gonna get tackled inside the 5.
Yes.
You know, that's what Julio does.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't had a touchdown since I think like week 3.
Hey.
He had like 4 in the first 3 weeks.
Raheem Morris is calling the defense now.
Yeah,
Raheem.
You moved Raheem from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side of the ball. He's calling third downs.
Yeah.
And we have
it was brilliant. What they've done, the adjustment that they made was brilliant, bro. Like I loved it, though. It's been, but like I said, the Bucs have shown that they can get after the pass a little bit, and if they can hold up on the back end, which has been the struggle,
you know, Julio might go for 300.
This is what I'm saying, but it's a Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation. The Bucs play Atlanta tough. They match up well for whatever reason. They have a certain level of confidence against Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to come down to, are we going to see another dominant performance from Atlanta's defense? If you get another dominant performance from Atlanta's defense, then yeah, Atlanta's going to win that game. But if Jameis is, you know, in a groove, and you know how Jameis can be a little streaky from time to time, you know what I'm saying? I think the Bucs are going to be right in the mix, and it'll come down to, you know, whatever, you know, a turnover or, you know what I'm saying, a missed field goal, whatever the case may be. It's a toss-up. It's a divisional game. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
Mike Evans usually does dominate.
We got a second overtime?
It's second overtime.
I thought the game was
play action.
It's a tie.
Play action.
It's Madden, bro. It's Madden. It's a video game.
Oh.
Right down. Let me ask y'all something, man.
Adams,
my number one quarterback, is he done, bro?
Who's that, Mariota?
Nah.
We have a lot of number one quarterbacks.
Don't do that. Mariota, yeah, he been done.
Okay.
He been done.
Oh, we talking about Mitchell right now.
Yeah, now we talking Mitchell.
Yeah, he's done too, man.
Yeah. Play the same guy.
I don't see him coming back, man.
That's it. It's a wrap.
Now, he's coming back, but I don't see him playing like winning 13 games like he did last
What do
season.
you make of the fact that Chase Daniels came into that game with 3 minutes left. Was it an injury? Was it the hip pointer that they claimed?
That's what
that
they
what it
said.
is?
That's
Or
what they
do you
said.
think it was just Matt
Little bit of
Nagy
both.
was
Little bit
so
of both.
frustrated that he was just like,
He's like, oh, you hurt? You hurt?
Yeah.
No, you hurt? All right, good.
all right, sit your ass on this bench over here.
Chase, need you in the game, bro. Need you in the game.
No, it's bad, man. It's bad. Did he throw the pick?
Almost.
How the hell did Allison come down with that? Anyway.
Video game.
Yeah, it was a video game. We knew that coming in, Trubisky lacked experience. You know what I'm saying? He didn't beat out Marquise Williams while he was in North Carolina. Couldn't do it. You know, he was in a favorable situation, put up good numbers, but he never played particularly well against good competition. You know what I'm saying? So there were question marks. And we thought, at least based on what we saw last year, we thought Matt Nagy had enough of the Andy Reid in him to mitigate some things and put him in a position to be successful. And depending on who you listen to, Matt Nagy has not focused on things that Trubisky excels at in terms of moving him, you know, allowing him to get outside the tackle box and so on and so forth. And while I understand that you want to put your players in a position to be successful, I think Matt Nagy, from his perspective, to a degree, I don't want to exonerate him completely either, but to a degree, you got to be more than that. You understand what I'm saying? If you're going to be the quarterback here, if we expect to take that next step in our team, I need you to be able to make plays consistently from the pocket. I need to be able to open up this entire playbook so we can take advantage of our skill position players, whether it be Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller. You know what I'm saying? But with all of that being said, Trubisky struggling to recognize, to throw the ball accuracy, his confidence is nil basically. With all that being said, until the Bears figure out what they're doing up front along the offensive line, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That is where games are won and lost. That is the antithesis of all problems. Again, it's easy to point at the coach and the quarterback, and they deserve plenty of blame, without question. But they can't run the football.
Yeah.
They can't control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and I think the thing last year with the Bears where they had a lot of success offensively was getting Tariq Cohen the football.
Yeah.
Cat out of the backfield, getting him the football. So, and they drafted David Montgomery, who I love, RB1, and he needs his touches too. So they're in a situation right now where, man, do we feed David Montgomery? Do we try to get touches to Tariq Cohen? It's like, I don't think Matt Nagy has a pulse on this offense right now, and he needs to find that, man. I think he needs to find Cohen out the backfield more while still giving David Montgomery his touches. I'm not sure how he's going to accomplish that, but I know that Trubisky played a lot better last season when Cohen touched the football. That's what I do know.
Let's be honest. Are we doing another overtime, or is this a kick to win the overtime? Anyway, let's be honest about it. Andy Reid's offense, because that is what Matt Nagy has taken and he's turned it into his own.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the tight end, which they don't really have right now. They don't have that.
Hey, boy, you want to bring him up? Gator?
He stay hurt.
All right.
They don't really have that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about getting the running backs involved in the passing game, i.e. Tariq Cohen. But here's the thing. While Tariq Cohen is more explosive than David Montgomery, Montgomery brings more power to the table. Both of them are excellent backs out of the backfield in the receiving game. So this is my confusion. You don't necessarily. I mean, it'd be great to have Tariq Cohen and Montgomery on the field. Bring Cohen in doing the speed option, you know, and the motion, and really create some confusion. That would be great. But they can't. They want to play in the shotgun. They can't run from the shotgun. They got to get downhill. They got to run power. They need a lead blocker. But that's not really Matt Nagy, Andy Reid's offense. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not jiving. So when you say get Tariq Cohen the football, I agree. But you can do the same exact thing with David Montgomery, particularly in the passing game. And that's the part that I'm not understanding. And I do hold Nagy accountable for that. You have to recognize the talent that you have. You know what I mean? And put those guys in position. There's only one person that it seems Trubisky has confidence when he throws the ball to them, and it's Allen Robinson. That's the one guy he seems to have confidence when he delivers the football to.
Because that's the guy that'll go up and get the football.
Yeah, but then when you have an elite corner like they faced last week,
Right, you got nothing. You got nothing.
Because Trubisky seems to be, he needs a guy who'll go up and get the football, a guy who can throw it.
Yeah, you need the 50-50. You
Yeah.
need the 50-50.
And a guy where he got to throw it out in space and that guy go get it type of thing, an Anthony Miller type of guy, you know, he's
being wasted. Yeah. Anthony Miller's being wasted.
It is what it is. But that's game of the week. We'll be back next week. CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager, the YouTube channel. You know it because you're on it.
That's it.
That's it, bro.
Cut it.
Cut it out. Y'all know about that.